Hey there and welcome back to Medifit Mosaic. Today's video is about a question that is critical to understanding type 2 diabetes. What really causes it? Many of us have heard about type 2 diabetes and may know someone living with it. But did you know that the cause of this condition are multi-faced, involving a mixture of genetics, lifestyle and environmental influences? It is not as simple as one factor, but a combination of things that work together over time to increase the risk of developing diabetes. The good news: by understanding these factors, we can take proactive steps to reduce our risk and improve our health. Let us dive into these key risk factors and uncover what really contributes to development of type 2 diabetes. Before we dig deep into specific risk factors, let us first talk about what type 2 diabetes actually is. At its core, type 2 diabetes is a chronic condition where the body becomes resistant to insulin, meaning the cell of your muscles, fat, and liver don't respond properly to insulin. Insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas, and its primary role is to help your body absorb glucose, that is sugar, from the bloodstream into your cells, where it is used for energy. But when your cells become insulin resistant, they can't absorb glucose as efficiently. This leads to buildup of sugar in the bloodstream. So, what happens next? Well, in response to raising blood sugar levels, the pancreas tries to compensate by producing more insulin to help push the glucose into the cells. But over time, the pancreas can't keep up with the demand, and eventually blood sugar levels remain elevated. This is where type 2 diabetes comes into play. When blood sugar levels are persistently high, it starts to cause damage to various parts of your body, including your blood vessels, nerves, eyes, kidneys, and heart. Left untreated, these elevated blood sugar levels can lead to serious complications such as heart disease, nerve damage, which is also called neuropathy, kidney failure, and even blindness. Unlike type 1 diabetes, which is an autoimmune condition where the body attacks its own insulin producing cells, type 2 diabetes is largely driven by the combination of genetic predisposition, lifestyle choices, and environmental exposures. These factors interact in complex ways, increasing your risk over time. Now let us break down the key risk factors that contribute to development of type 2 diabetes. Let us start by exploring the role of genetics in type 2 diabetes. It is well known that type 2 diabetes tend to run in families. But what exactly does this mean for your risk? Number one is family history. If you have a close relative such as a parent, sibling, or even an aunt or uncle with type 2 diabetes, your risk of developing the condition is significantly higher. Research has shown that having a family history of diabetes can increase your chances by 2 to 4 times. This is because certain genetic traits that affect how your body processes glucose and insulin are passed down from generation to generation. But just because it is in your genes doesn't mean you are destined to develop diabetes. Your lifestyle choices can either activate or suppress these genetic traits, making a huge difference in whether or not you actually develop the condition. Number two is genetic predisposition. Some of us may carry specific genes that increase our susceptibility to developing insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Scientists have identified several gene variations that are linked to these conditions. For example, the TCF7L2 gene has been shown to play a role in how the body regulates insulin and stores fat. Similarly, variations in the PPAR gamma gene are associated with how your body responds to glucose and how fat is metabolized. These genes can influence your body's ability to use insulin, store fat, and regulate blood sugar. However, it is important to remember that while having these genetic variants might increase your risk, they don't guarantee that you will develop diabetes. It is the interplay between the genetic and the lifestyle factors that really matters. Did you know that certain ethnic groups have the higher predisposition to developing type 2 diabetes? Research has shown that the people of South Asian, African American, Hispanics, and Native American descents are of greater risk. This is partly due to genetic factors, and it is also influenced by cultural dietary habits and lifestyle patterns. For example, people of South Asian descent often have a higher risk of developing insulin resistance, which is exacerbated by traditional diets that are high in refined carbohydrates. Similarly, African American and Hispanic communities face unique challenges when it comes to managing diet and exercise, increasing their overall risk. While genetics can play a role in increasing your risk, they don't seal your fate. In fact, the majority of type 2 diabetes cases are driven by lifestyle choices and the environmental factors which are modifiable, meaning you can take steps to reduce your risk. Now let us shift our focus to lifestyle factors which are often the most influential in determining whether or not you develop type 2 diabetes. These are the areas where we have the most control, and by making changes here you can significantly lower your risk. Number one is diet. One of the biggest contributors to the insulin resistance is a poor diet. Diet that are high in processed foods, refined carbohydrates, and sugary beverages can spike your blood sugar levels, putting immense pressure on your pancreas to produce more insulin. Over time, this constant demand on your pancreas leads to insulin resistance, where your cells become less responsive to the insulin. Eventually, this cycle results in chronically elevated blood sugar level leading to development of type 2 diabetes. But here is the good news. Research shows that adopting a diet rich in whole foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins can significantly reduce your risk. These whole foods have a low glycemic index, meaning they cause a slower, more controlled rise in the blood sugar levels, which prevent these dangerous spikes that can lead to insulin resistance. Number two is obesity and visceral fat. Let us talk about obesity, particularly visceral fat. The fat is stored around your abdomen. This isn't just regular fat. Visceral fat is metabolically active, meaning it releases hormones and inflammatory substances that interfere with your body's insulin response. Nearly 90% of people with type 2 diabetes are overweight or obese, but losing just 5 to 10% of your body weight can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity and lower your risk of diabetes. This improvement happens because weight loss reduces the amount of fat stored in the liver and around your internal organs, making your body more efficient at using insulin. Number third is physical inactivity. Now, let us talk about the importance of the physical activity. When you engage in regular exercise, your muscles use glucose for energy, which helps lower your blood sugar levels. Even more importantly, physical activity improves insulin sensitivity, meaning your body becomes more efficient at using insulin, reducing the demand on your pancreas. According to research, individuals who engage in regular moderate intensity physical activity like walking, cycling, or swimming are 30 to 50% less likely to develop type 2 diabetes compared to those who are sedentary. Just 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week can make a huge difference in your overall health and insulin sensitivity. Number fourth is smoking. Smoking doesn't just affect your lungs, it also increases your risk of type 2 diabetes. Smoking causes inflammation and oxidative stress throughout the body, which can damage your cells and impair the function of insulin receptors, making it more difficult for your body to use insulin effectively. Smokers are 30 to 40% more likely to develop type 2 diabetes compared to non smokers. But here is the good news: quitting smoking can significantly reduce this risk. Within just a few years of quitting, your risk of developing diabetes began to drop. And after 10 to 20 years, your risk is almost equivalent to that of someone who has never smoked. Now let us explore some of the environmental factors that can influence the development of type 2 diabetes. These factors may not be as obvious as genetics or lifestyle choices, but they play a substantial role in your overall health. Number 1 is exposure to endocrine disruptive chemicals. Certain chemicals in the environment, known as the endocrine disruptive chemicals, can interfere with hormone function and contribute to insulin resistance. These chemicals are often found in pesticides, plastics, and even some personal care products. Exposure to chemicals like BPA and phthalates have been linked to insulin resistance and metabolic disorders. These chemicals can mimic or block hormones in the body, disrupting the normal function of insulin. You can reduce your exposure by choosing natural organic products and avoiding plastic containers labeled with recycling codes 3, 6, and 7. Number 2 is sleep deprivation. Let us talk about the role of sleep in type 2 diabetes. Chronic sleep deprivation can impair your body's ability to regulate glucose and increase insulin resistance. When your body doesn't get enough sleep, your body's cortisol level rise, which prompt your liver to release more glucose into the bloodstream. People who constantly get less than 6 hours of sleep per night have a 30% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. During sleep, your body undergoes critical processes including regulating glucose and repairing cells. And that is why it is so important to prioritize good sleep hygiene. Getting enough rest is the key to preventing insulin resistance. Number 3 is chronic stress. Finally, let us talk about stress. When you are stressed, your body releases cortisol, which causes your liver to release extra glucose into your bloodstream. While this might be helpful in a fight or flight situation, chronic stress can cause elevated blood sugar levels over time, contributing to insulin resistance. Mindfulness practices like yoga, meditation, and deep breathing can help manage stress and lower cortisol levels, which improve the insulin sensitivity. Incorporating these practices into your routine is not only great for your health, but also plays a key role in developing type 2 diabetes. Now let us discuss about how these factors combine to cause the type 2 diabetes. So how do all these factors, genetic, lifestyle, and environmental, come together to cause type 2 diabetes? Type 2 diabetes doesn't happen overnight. It is a result of a complex interaction between the genetic predisposition, poor diet, lack of physical activity, environmental exposures, and even stress. For example, someone with genetic risk for diabetes might be able to avoid developing the condition by eating a healthy diet, staying physically active, and managing stress. On the other hand, someone who has a poor diet, is sedentary, and experiences chronic stress might develop insulin resistance and eventually type 2 diabetes, even if they don't have a strong genetic predisposition. It is this interplay between these factors that ultimately leads to development of this condition, which is why understanding your risk factors and making small preventive changes can have a huge impact on your long-term health. There you have it. We have uncovered the risk key factors that contribute to type 2 diabetes, from genetics and lifestyle choices to environmental influences. The great news is that type 2 diabetes is largely preventable. By making small consistent changes like eating healthier food, being physically active, getting enough sleep, and managing stress, you can significantly lower your risk and take control of your health. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from this information. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon for more health tips and insights. Remember, taking control of your health is the first step towards living a healthier, happier life. I will see you in the next video.